Hi, I'm Chris Maynard, CEO of Altamira Entertainment Incorporated. I'm here today to secure $6 million in financing for the production of our company's products.
I'm James Scott, Systems Task Group. You'll learn over the internet with us.
Hi, my name is Kanata Stenson. I'm a software developer with Nataki Integrals. We developed 2 internet navigational devices, and we're looking for assistance to roll out our products.
My name is David Eigen. My company is VitaSave, and you can find brand name nutritional supplements over the internet through us.
Great. So who's going to get a chance to turbocharge their growth plans? You'll know if you keep it right where it is. I'm Margot Lee, and MoneyHunt is next.
MoneyHunt is made possible by PricewaterhouseCoopers, committed to entrepreneurial ventures through a wide array of consulting and financial services. And by Fast Company magazine. Fast Company, the handbook of the business revolution. And MoneyHunt is also brought to you by Yahoo Finance, an online resource for investing and personal finance.
Welcome to the crossroads of the American dream. I'm Miles Spencer. Ever wonder how tough it is to be an entrepreneur? Like convincing a total stranger that you have a good business idea? Well, we take a snapshot of that very moment. We call it Money Hunt.
I'm Cliff Ennico. We scour the country for America's greatest entrepreneurs and set them up against America's toughest critics. They try to impress us. We try not to be impressed. At the end, we'll select one guest to receive some free help and guidance from our MoneyHunt mentor.
And we've got a good one. Jason Olim, co-founder of CD Now and also its president. CD Now is the internet's leading music store. Welcome to Money Hunt, Jason.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being on the show, Jason. Our first guest is James Scott, CFO of Systems Task Group.
Welcome to Money Hunt, James.
Systems Task Group is based in Princeton, New Jersey, and markets a comprehensive internet-based training software system. Welcome to Money Hunt.
Nice to be here.
Internet-based training for mostly large corporations, I take it, and their employees. Tell us a little bit about how the business got started.
Business got started about 3 years ago. A couple of guys who had been building companies for other people decided that they would rather start their own. Our big investor is a guy from Merck, and he decided to back the company and start us up.
Yeah, but specifically, though, your programs are specifically internet-based training programs. Now, this is something of a state-of-the-art improvement. How'd you get into that?
Well, he looked at the state-of-the-art in network software and said that someday this is all going to be over the net. The guys who started the company had a lot of experience in legacy software. They saw where the market was going, and they decided, hey, let's get something that works on the net, and we'll get an application that is going to work.
James, I understand you brought some videotape. Maybe we can roll that. You can talk about what we're seeing and understand a little bit more about your business.
That's the headquarters of Systems Task Group in Princeton, New Jersey. vLearn is our virtual learning product. That's the framework we use for training people over the internet. The company itself, we have about 15 employees now, and we're totally dedicated to distance learning. This is one of our developers working on the product. Just looking at our homepage here, which is Shaping Information into Knowledge, our trademark. Primarily, we're looking at the corporate market and large learning institutions.
James, I think it's helpful to walk through an example. Let's say that I'm a large financial institution, and I got a ton of information technology types who need to learn about the year 2000 problem and how to fix it. What can you do for us?
We've got the best product in the world for that, PCA 2000. This product's not vaporware. It's already out on the market. It's in 10.
Well, how does it work? I mean, actually, my only experience with the company now is from the business plan. And one of the things that I felt the plan was missing was a real understanding of how does a product work? Is it a consumer product? Is it something that people are going to enjoy using? And do they really get something out of it?
Oh, they get a lot out of it. It's not a consumer product. It's a product that's basically aimed at corporations in a corporate environment. It's actually meant to teach the PC user how to become aware of year 2000 problems on their PC, do some basic assessment of those problems, run a tool which reports those problems back to a central database
Do you have the product now out in the field?
The product is right now in the field. It's being used on over 10,000 PCs.
And what kind of response have you had? I didn't see any kind of discussion of the user's response to the product or whether they like it. I could really use I could use some endorsements actually in your plan.
The product was just rolled out in March, so it's difficult to tell how great the response is going to be. We do not have any problems with it. It's already being used in 5 different languages. It's going to be rolled out by this major client to over 30,000 other PC users.
Now, James, this is a pretty standardized product, but you're doing other kinds of training programs all over the place. In fact, I think you mentioned that there are 9 different target markets. Don't you have to customize these programs a lot to specific corporate users?
Yes, we do. We have to customize the programs, but the beauty of vLearn is that it's database-based software. It's very easy to change the software, the languages, the course content, because in training courses, a lot of that is the same.
Now, your plan doesn't talk about pricing in any detail, and I don't need your pricing structure, but I'd like to understand the logic for how you go about pricing your product in the marketplace.
2 pricing structures. One, when we're working with an educational institution, we're looking for some upfront money to implement the product, and then a share of the revenue that comes in, typically between 15 and 25% of what they receive. For the year 2000 PC-8 product, we're pretty much looking for what the market will bear at this point.
Hey, James, walk me through what does this look like from the user's perspective? If I'm an employee that's been circled for this specific training program, what do I see when I turn on my PC?
If you're any PC user on a network in this company, on their own intranet, you will see a tool come up, which you'll get email. You'll click on URL, you'll get a tool that will come up on your PC. It will step you through an awareness process. This is what can happen to your PC in the year 2000, and it will show you some examples.
Another market and competition question. You mentioned in your plan discussions of strengths and your agreement with the China Productivity Council, if I got that right. Could you describe the nature of this relationship?
China Productivity Council was looking to implement intranet or internet-based training for their 70,000 students in Taiwan. They have a big plan to offer this training throughout all of Asia, which, if you look at the projections, is the biggest IT training market, the fastest growing training market for IT training.
Well, I noticed that your plan included the one existing product, the Y2K product. But when it comes time to roll out additional products for additional customers, what kind of costs are involved in rolling out the new training, and do you have the competency in building training products that actually work and that actually become successful?
Well, we work with cognitive learning specialists who help develop specific training programs. We've got a core team of developers who can take anybody's content, whether it's an authorware, Word, whatever you got, and put it into a training program. The key thing is the metadatabase. The framework is modular. It's easy to work with.
So then what is your business? Is your business a technology business, or is your business a content business?
We are not a content business. This PCA 2000 was something a major corporation asked us to do, which we see now as an entry point into other companies.
So then if you're not a content business, how do you source additional content?
We're an enabler. A lot of people have content that's not up on the net yet, especially for the corporate market. A lot of corporations have training needs that they've developed, and we're looking to meet their training needs. For example, large drug companies come to us, ask us to put a training program together for a new drug that they're rolling out around the world.
James, competition, there are tons of corporate training outfits out there. I mean, I got to believe somebody's working on internet software even as we speak. I mean, are there any other products that are right now on the market?
Oh, there's a lot of different products on the market. We feel our products are better right now because we put 2 years of development into it, and because of the framework that we've developed for the internet. Let's
move on to the management and money section. Your plan calls for some expansion capital. How much, and what are you using it for?
We need $3.5 million for our plan. We're primarily going to use it for marketing and rolling out the product introduction of the PCA 2000 program we have.
Yeah, James, your management team is very strong on information technology, as it would have to be, but I only saw one guy there that had corporate training experience. Is that going to be a problem?
That's going to be a problem. We're trying to work with training providers. Recently, we hired a sales and marketing manager. Because we're heavy in IT, we have not been hard in marketing until this point.
I also think I noticed that most of the folks in your management team had corporate backgrounds and didn't have entrepreneurial experience. How are you going to address the unique challenges that faces?
Well, that's what I'm there for. I light a fire under everybody. And these guys are hard workers. The guy who founded the company had dreamed of being an entrepreneur since 1984. He incorporated, he never got around to doing it. He built 3 different companies for 3 different people, and he finally decided he was going to do it for himself.
James, quick yes or no question. Doesn't internet training require a higher level of employee motivation and self-startingness than traditional training methods that are more, push technology?
In some ways it does, but in some ways it's a preferred way to get training. You can go on the net and you can learn when you want to, at your own pace, modularly. You do one module at a time. You're not going to a class. You don't have to travel anywhere to get the training.
James, great presentation. You can find out more about this guest on our website at www.moneyhunt.com. When we come back, a place to get your healthy supplements online.
It was 1977, and Xavier Roberts was fondly remembering Appalachian art with its round-faced children and tales of new babies found in cabbage patches. On a whim, he turned his art gallery into the Babyland Hospital, where his handmade, round-cheeked dolls were adopted. They were a smash. Coleco arranged to distribute them, and by 1985, Cabbage Patch Kids topped $500 million in sales. Xavier Roberts, Cabbage Patch Kids. What a great idea.
Welcome back to Money Hunt. If you have a question for us, you can post it to our bulletin board at www.moneyhunt.com. Let's look at one. Tom Armstrong watches Money Hunt on KQED San Francisco and writes, I have a techie background and I'm starting an internet content company. I find that prospective investors pigeonhole me as inexperienced, weak management. How do you engineer the transformation of your image from geek to savvy entrepreneur worthy of investors' trust? Tom, first of all, don't ever apologize for being a geek. Some of the most successful entrepreneurs I know are geeks. Flash that pocket protector and be proud of it. But if inexperience is a problem for you, consider balancing your management team with someone who's older, who's been around the business track for a while. They can handle the savvy part while you do what you do best. For our next entrepreneur, it's David Eigen from VitaSave.
Welcome to Money Hunt, David.
VitaSave is from New York City and seeks to become the largest discount retailer serving the natural products community. David, welcome to Money Hunt. Tell us a little bit about how this business got started.
Well, I actually had a chronic illness for years, and I turned to alternative medicine. And what I found was a few things. One was the internet was the only source of information that I could find, but it wasn't well organized. The other thing was that in turning to alternative medicine, I was out of pocket for all the quote-unquote supplies.
Let's be very clear. When we talk about alternative medicine, we're talking about things like ginseng and Chinese
herbs,
vitamins,
herbs,
kind of
exactly. And what I found was that I was out of pocket for all these products, and that they were very expensive. And therefore, I came up with the concept that, hey, people need information and they need products, and they need them at a discount. And that's where VitaSave came from.
Now, I understand you brought some videotape. If we could roll that, maybe you could explain a little bit more about your company.
The website was designed to be very user-friendly, very warm. We provide a lot of information about us so people can be comfortable and familiar with the company. The catalog is designed so that you can search by keyword or by category. Their homepage is designed so that you can go directly into whatever you want.
Now, you mentioned both the homepage and the catalog. How are they different?
Well, the homepage is your entree into the site.
Mm-hmm.
The catalog, in order to search the catalog, is where you're going specifically. What we've done is we've provided content as well as the actual products and the detailed product descriptions.
I picked this up from your plan. So you're actually trying to provide education about these herbs and other natural supplements as well as selling them.
Well, from an FDA perspective, we're looking at information.
Now,
we're not trying to educate.
And your site is very content rich, but Walter Forbes from Sendon says content is overhead. And his point there is it's a tremendous tiger by the tail from an editorial standpoint. It takes a lot to continuously update and publish content, even in your specific niche. Isn't that a tremendous burden on your company?
Actually, it's really not. It's a very good point, though. And simply the fact is we're looking to outside partners. We've already inked several content deals. And it also serves us very well from an FDA perspective because we don't want to be actually the ones supplying that information right next to the products we're selling. So we're inking deals, we're integrating our systems through affiliate programs into other people's websites and providing information on our site.
How many different suppliers are you carrying on your website right now?
We carry over 80 brands right now. We carry about 6,000 products. We'll be upping that over the next few months to about 15,000 products and about 400 brands.
Now, a question, how many products are there in the space that you think you need to carry for you to be competitive?
Well, the problem is people are at times married to their brands. So in carrying the brand, the multiple brands, the multiple products, we don't actually inventory them all at all times. There are probably somewhere between 500 and 1,000 products that will be the primary products that we sell and that we push to some
500 to 1,000.
500 to 1,000.
You mentioned that the paradigm in drug purchasing is moving from retail to mail order in your plan. Is that really the case?
Well, the internet side of it is clearly in its infancy. The mail order side is growing very rapidly. It's over $1 billion industry in '96, which is the last accurate numbers I have, but it's growing incredibly fast at over 40% a year.
If brand is such a key issue here, I see that your brand has the save component, a discounting component. Is there going to be or potential of any kind of a backlash from some of these suppliers because of the pricing model that you're introducing? Do they have a minimum advertised price, or do you think there's a risk that they're going to say, I'm not going to deal with someone who's going to discount my products and potentially reduce the value to the retailers?
Absolutely, it's a very good point, and we are already working on establishing good relationships with our distributors. The simple fact is, over the future, competition is going to bring the price down. The retailers are discounting now. GNC discounts. All of our competition are starting to realize that they have to discount, and it's part of the territory, and it's what's happening in the evolution. The CD business was not discounted until people like you came along.
Yeah. Well, what type of as a startup, what type of purchasing power can you really wrangle from suppliers, and how can you negotiate that in order to offer your customers decent discounts to retail?
Well, that's part of the trick. It's a very good point, Miles. We simply have to build our volume, and through that is build our business through merchandising, marketing, and various deals that give us the volume that we can then turn back to the manufacturers. Our goal is to be the agent of the consumer. That's how we position ourselves. That's what really differentiates ourselves. We are constantly working to reduce our costs, whether it be our overhead operations or whether it be the actual products themselves.
I was looking in your plan, I was looking at the growth and how you're planning to do that. I noticed that there is not a significant line item expense for customer service staff. Where do you think service is going to fit in terms of your operating costs?
We're addressing that right now. The plan that you have was sent out about a month ago. We've been actually upping that, and as we came live March 9th. And a month, as you know, in this business is very long. After having come live, we've already upped that and changed that.
David, big question. Health supplements are white hot right now. You've got General Nutrition Centers, Rexall, Nature's Bounty. They've been in the business for years. I gotta believe they're doing their own internet sites even as we speak. What's going to give you the edge?
Well, GNC is not as much a concern at this point. They've got franchisees. They've got that to deal with. They've got over 1,200 franchisees, and going right into their territory creates a window of opportunity for us. I know that they're aggressively buying back their franchisees, but it's a long-term prospect for them. In terms of,
another marketing and competition question. Page 13 of your plan, you mentioned consumers won't buy herbal supplements in grocery stores because of lack of consumer information. Is that really true?
No, people actually tend to get information wherever they want and piecemeal it, but they're not really comfortable making their purchasing decisions. When you walk into a major store, typically you're not getting the kind of information that's going to make you comfortable. What we've done is we've taken the concept of content and community and created in a situation where they can have information.
I agree, but isn't there the risk that they're going to get the information from you and then go down to the GNC and buy the stuff?
That's inherently what we're trying to do, is provide convenience and a lower price.
One of the questions, obviously, is that this is a business, certainly I'm familiar with it, that other people can emulate very quickly, and there can be a lot of people who knock off both the model and the operating infrastructure. What is it that's going to give you your competitive advantage as you go forward? What is it that's going to create a barrier to other people coming into your space?
Well, we intend on spending heavily on developing our affiliate program and developing our brand image. And doing what you've had to do, is spend an inordinate amount of money to really push the image.
Let's move on to management and money. In your plan, you call for some growth capital. How much are you looking for in your expansion for your plan, and what would you use it for?
We need about $2.5 million for our plan. It is going to round out the management team, most of the people who we already have lined up. It is going for really building out and making more solid our back end. As I said before, our content, we're really looking to partner that out. Doing some key media buys on various websites, on the Yahoos of the world, and also really just solidifying every aspect that we need, and mostly focusing on marketing.
Dave, your management team seems to be strong on marketing, which is good, and it's also strong on the product side, but I didn't see any kind of financial support. How are you addressing that?
In terms of...
I didn't see a CFO or a chief accounting officer or anything like that.
That is someone we're in the process of hiring. We're pretty far along. We've already just about hired someone at this point.
A great presentation too, Dave. You can find out more about this guest and all the others on our website, www.moneyhunt.com. When we come back, our panel discussion, and our mentor picks one money hunter to help.
In 1956, inventor Walter Morrison convinced the Whammo Company to test market as flying metal discs, catching the 1950s UFO flying saucer craze. In 1959, Whammo renamed the now safer plastic discs Frisbee, the popular name for the toy at Yale. Walter Frederick Morrison, Frisbee. What a great idea.
Welcome back to Money Hunt. Our entrepreneurs are done with their pitches, so it's time for our analysis. Our first money hunter was James Scott from Systems Task Group. Jason, what'd you think?
Well, I think for me the main issue is that I'm unfamiliar with the product, and from the business plan alone, I really don't have much to go on. I'm not sure what the product does. I don't know how the consumer interacts with it, and unless I understand the quality of the product, I can't really know if there's really a business behind it. The second part of the business plan, which is what he focused on primarily, was about the fact that there is a huge market for IT training solutions. And here I begin to see actually more opportunity, but the concern that I have primarily is he going to be able to build core competencies in the technology side and in the content integration side to be able to be a business? And then what kind of business will it be? Will it be a technology business that sells a simple solution to
Enabling,
people?
right?
Or is it going to be also a service bureau? And then can you get your costs back? Can you become a very large company that way? Or will this sort of a business get eaten up by the people who are already in the training game now and have huge installed bases in the relationships with the corporations?
Top that, Cliff.
First of all, Jason makes some very excellent points. I agree this company has a great tech focus. I think internet training is an interesting model, and I think it's in its infancy. It's got a long way to go. I think it's going to work very great in the information technology field, but I just don't know if marketing executives learn the same way that the techies do. That's a big question. I think he's going to have to spend a lot of time customizing his products and services, and I think he's going to have lots of competition in that marketplace.
Well,
there are tons of trainers out there.
Two great places, you know, IT training, very hot market. Year 2000, Y2K training, very hot market today. But you really focused on where he needs help. The plan just didn't give us a clue what was really going on. And it's so critical. You have potential investors out there that get so many plans. You've got to hit them in the first page, must understand exactly what's going on, or they're just going to flip through it and go to the next one. And you've got to capture their imagination immediately, and I think that's where he needs his help. Our second money hunter was David Eigen from VitaSafe. Jason, your thoughts?
Well, I think that the market potential, the fact that there's a huge market for these products is growing rapidly. I think the fact that there is, that we're in a real mom and pop market where there is no really truly dominant brand other than a few retail brands. My personal belief that it's very hard for retail to come in and compete, not only using this technology but also in direct marketing model, which this plan really outlines, I think, in some very nice detail, says to me that they really have an opportunity to build a brand, which is what David said was going to be the key to his growth, is build a brand, establish himself as someone who can really sell the products, and then customers will come and they will return and they'll have an opportunity to create a great direct marketing business.
Cliff.
I like David's presentation. This is a hot market right now. I like the information component. He's dead right. People will not buy natural supplements without a certain amount of education. The internet is great for that. Big problem, obviously, lots of big competition with a major retail presence, and I gotta believe that a startup with limited name recognition is going to have bigger problems than GNC dealing with its franchisees.
Exactly, and so it becomes the real question is content king or is content overhead?
Right, exactly.
That's one of the points. Homeopathic market and the natural supplement market, it's booming, but I wonder if that's a bubble. I wonder if that's going to burst.
Patent medicines have been around since day one.
And the size of the market means that even if it were to decline substantially, you're still a multi-billion-dollar market. The opportunity to shift the market from buying at retail to buying in a high-information brand, well-branded site is, I think, so dynamic, is so significant that I think there's going to be tremendous opportunity. I can only imagine that the bulk of consumers are underserved by retail today.
So two good pitches, but you got to pick one. Who's it going to be, Jason?
Well, I thought that VitaSafe's business plan was in great shape. I think the company's got it all together. So I actually would like to work with James Scott from Systems Task Group.
So you're going to go with the underdog?
Absolutely.
Margot Lee.
Thanks, Miles. Now we're going to turn to our money hunters and get their reaction to the partners meeting. Jim, what's your response to the analysis?
Thanks. That's great feedback. I'm very hopeful that we'll be able to pull the plan together and get out there again with it. And I just want to thank you guys for your help.